Hey Denise, it's Catherine. Hey, listen, sometimes it's easier for me to talk than type, and it might make more sense, so I just thought I'd make a quick video and send this to you, showing you the products that I think you might really like. Okay, so I know you said that you're outdoors a lot, you get a lot of sun. I know because you're out with horses and animals all the time, so you really need great products for your skin. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, I've got nothing on my face right now. I'm gonna show you what I use in the morning and depending on what type of skin you have, what I think would work great. Okay, so the first thing I do every morning when I get up is I put cold water on my face just to kind of get circulation going and wake me up, okay? And then I will take rose water. This is a fantastic botanical. It tones your skin, which is rebalancing it, you know, the pH, and it eliminates redness, and it's just anti-inflammatory. It's a great product. And so I will just put a little spritz on my face, and it smells so good. And it's also great for setting your makeup, and but the rose water just feels good. I let it just dry. And then I will put on this instant lifting serum. This is a miracle line remover. It will take care of, you know, bags under your eyes, fine lines and wrinkles. It plumps them up, fills them in, and just gives your skin a lift. Okay, so I will put this on after I first, you know, get up in the morning and do the cold water. I will take about a half a pump of this, okay? A full pump will probably cover your whole face, okay? And I will just, a little goes a long way. It's just like a little cream here, and I will just lightly dab it where I want it, like, you know, areas of concern, right? And this, you can feel it pretty quickly kind of start to just firm up your skin, but it doesn't leave any residue on your skin. I've got like this little wrinkle here that just is, you know, will not go away. And so I'll put some in there to kind of lessen that up a little bit, maybe on my forehead. I'm actually gonna get a little bit more. And actually the more I use it, the more I wanna put it all over. Right in here, any areas of concern that you feel like you want to be smoother, and anything you want smoother, just rub over, okay? So I'll put some over here on top of my eyelids. You can put it, you know, on your neck, or just take the rest and let that set in. And you can feel it pretty quickly, like I said, firming up, but then you'll get the maximum results after about a couple of hours, and it will stay. It's a temporary thing. But the more you use it on a daily basis, your overall skin is going to look more relaxed and smooth. So I love that because it doesn't feel tight, it doesn't feel dry, it doesn't leave any residue on your face. You can apply moisturizer right on top of that. So usually on every day, I'll get up, do the cold water, rose water, put that on, and then I'll kind of get my day going, and then later I'll come back and shower and do the rest. But I'm gonna kind of just move into that now. So when I come out of the shower, I'll towel off, and I'll usually give my face another spritz of the rose water, and then I will put on the moisturizer. Now, depending on what type of skin you have, I'm thinking maybe because you're out so much, maybe your skin is drier. This is Renewing Day Cream. We have this, and we also have Hydrating Day Cream and Renewing Day Cream. One is more for dry, normal to dry, and normal to oily is the Renewing Day Cream. So you may want the hydrating, but I just take a little bit of the moisturizer. We have three, like I said, moisturizers: oily, dry, and those both have 20 SPF. And then we have a moisturizer that has no SPF because some people don't want SPF, or they need to use something prescription or something else. But we have a moisturizer without SPF. But I'm just going to lightly tap this over my face. And don't forget your neck and chest too. If you are out, like I know you are, you definitely want to apply sunscreen to those areas as well, and just rub it in. And these have 20 SPF, which it's a broad spectrum SPF, and that eliminates about 95% of UV. It's funny, as SPF goes up higher, anything over 20 to 30, it only goes up like from 95 like to 97, and nothing is 100%. But the more things you put on between your skin and the sun is going to protect your skin. Like even the mineral makeup and other products will also give you some sun protection. So I just let that set in, and then and then if you want to apply makeup on top of that, you want to put on a primer. Okay, this is one of those products that I thought, what in the world is a primer and why do I need to add another thing? Well, what this does is it will, just a little pea-sized amount, not a lot, a little goes a long way. I love that about our products. They all are like that. You need to use very little to get great results. I just take this and pat it over my fingers and just tap this to distribute, because I don't like to pull over my skin, and just lightly rub over. That's going to go over your skin, fill in pores, fill in any fine lines, and just give your skin a smooth, just a smooth coating between your skin and your makeup, which is great because it also helps to preserve your makeup. It balances it, kind of stabilizes your skin. Your makeup goes on, it has something to kind of, you know, attach onto the primer. The primer makes it go on smoother, it looks better longer, it stays fresher, the colors are truer. It makes such a difference in the application of your makeup by putting on the primer. I apply it anywhere I'm going to put any makeup, my eyelids, eyebrows, lips, everything. Okay, anywhere that I'm going to put any kind of makeup. So I usually will put the primer on and then maybe go get dressed, you know, like I do the lifting serum, then the primer. If I'm going to do makeup, go get dressed, give it a few minutes, but I'm just going to roll right into it for you. And then foundation. We've got several foundation options. I'm thinking, like, again, if maybe you have oil, drier skin, great options for you could be we have BB cream, which is kind of like a it's great. It's a perfect blend of moisturization and foundation. It comes in 6 shades. These two, I think this one's a little light for me. This one might be a little bit dark. I'm kind of in between right now, so I may use a little of both. But this is my most favorite foundation, which is the liquid foundation, and this is fantastic. This goes on super light. It's light reflecting. This is it blurs all kinds of little fine lines and wrinkles, and this just looks great. But this one's great when you're outside. I think it gives you even a little more sunscreen protection, although any mineral makeup will do that as well. So I'm going to do the liquid right now, just to show you that. It comes with a little dropper. You want to empty the dropper, get that product out, give it a good shake, and then I'm going to apply this with the liquid foundation brush. And you only need like about 5 or 6 drops to do your whole face. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go with that. Okay, and then I'm just going to dab this around my face to distribute. It's the best way. I like to, get the product kind of, mostly stay more towards the middle and anywhere that I'm going to want foundation and coverage, and just kind of get around. That way I don't have to work so hard to get the makeup distributed. Then I'm just going to start going in little swirls. This liquid foundation is a liquid to powder. So it goes on wet. I mean, you saw it come out in little drops, but then when it mixes with the air and goes over your skin in a light coating, it just kind of like vanishes the moisture, and you're left with just a smooth, matte, totally dry, nothing feels wet finish. And it really does an amazing job. It's a very, medium to full coverage, very buildable, so you can have just a light application to where you can still see freckles and still see your skin, or you can go full coverage. You can see over here how much smoother and more even toned my skin is. Over here, yes, I've got the product dotted, but just you can see more different color variations, pinker tones, darker, lighter, it's just what everybody's got. But over here it looks much smoother and more even. I'm going to kind of go over my ears, down my neck to just kind of shear that out. You don't want to have a line from one part of your face to another, and it just makes it all kind of blend seamlessly into your neck. And so I'm just going to blend out the rest over here. I'm not working with a mirror, I should have, but I'm just looking in my phone. So if I'm missing a spot, I just can't see it because of the phone. So, but gosh, I'm so glad that you contacted me. I've been thinking about what you could try. It'd be great to see you in person. I know I told you that we were coming out to Palm Desert this weekend. We are, and I don't know if you're around, but maybe we could work something out to get together. And I could show you some colors and things in person, and might even, you know, you might even get a better idea of what you would like. Okay, so now all that is blended in, and now I'm going to use the concealer. This is Skin Perfecting Concealer. This stuff will cover tattoos. It is really extraordinary. I only need a little bit. I mean, really, like smaller than a grain of rice, okay? And that'll even be probably too much. You can apply this with a concealer brush. I'm just going to use my ring fingers right now because I do that most of the time. I'm just going to put it in the corner of my eye, which is where it gets the darkest and bluest, and kind of go into an inverted triangle. I chose a lighter color because I want to lighten up and brighten up this area, which gives you a more well-rested and awake look. If you want to highlight, lighten, and brighten up an area, you want to go a little bit lighter. If you want to, see those lines, I'm going to kind of put a lighter color that kind of fills that in a little bit. If you want to cover something on like the middle of your face, then you'd want to use the same shade as the foundation you use. Okay, I'm just going to kind of go up underneath my brows there, kind of highlight there. And I'll kind of even bring the lighter color out this way. And this too is a creamy texture, this concealer. And so it just lightens and brightens up your whole under eye area, making you look awake, which we love. Okay, now I'm gonna use some setting powder. I'm trying to be quick, but I also have to go get my little girl at school, so I'm trying to like, get myself moving here. So I'm taking the same brush that I applied the liquid foundation with, and I'm just going to dab this under my eye. This is the Behold setting powder, which is great. Okay, I'm gonna dust that off, but I'm just gonna give that a chance to kind of set in there. Okay. And then I'm going to get this little puff brush and just kind of sweep that away. I want to set that concealer under my eye because it's a creamy texture and has kind of a tack to it. And I don't want to have that area under my skin kind of creamy because any dust that comes off my makeup all day is going to land there. And if it sticks to that, that's how you start to get that kind of smudgy look under there, and I don't want that, right? So I got that. Now, for eyeshadows, you mentioned that you wanted, that you've got hazel eyes. You could do a lot of things. You could go brown, you could do green, you could do plums, you could do anything. You know, hazel eyes are awesome that way. My favorite eyeshadow palette, I use palette 1. This has a lot of matte, this is all browns and bronzies and golds. Some matte shadows, dark and light, and there's also matte and slightly shimmer. I know you didn't want sparkly, and I too do not want like full sparkles over my eyes, but I will use a little shimmer in some strategic spots, like right underneath my brow and right over it, like the middle of my eye. Like I'll do matte, and I'll just kind of put a little pop of shimmer just in certain spots to kind of make your eyes, give them a little more curve and dimension and a little more interest. I don't want a full lid of sparkle, but I do like to just kind of strategically do that. And this palette gives me all the different colors to do that with. And they're all right here. I just open it up, pop it closed. So I love this palette for that. But another great option is we also have cream shadows, which are super easy to use. And we have matte shades. This is a beautiful brown. And then we also have this one here, which is called Vulnerable, right? No, Victorious. And this is like a perfect nude matte. And this you can use a cream shadow brush or even just your finger to pat on, and they go on creamy, but then they dry right away to a perfectly blended powder, which are great to use. I love both of those options, but again, we have a gazillion colors, and whatever you liked, you know, eyeliners and this, you know, you could do anything with any of that. But I'm going to show you how I would use this eyeshadow palette here. And so I'm just going to go over my lid with this Elated color, which is a matte, just a matte, kind of like a light beigey bone color, just an even, just to sort of do a base over my whole lid. And then I'm going to take this Chipper color here, which is a matte brown, and just go in my crease a little bit. Okay, just kind of blend that out. Nothing too dramatic, I'm gonna go kind of easy today, you know. I'm just sort of giving my eyes a little bit of shape and shadow, but I'm really gonna put this in the crease, which is right that bone underneath your brow. It's almost like if you were to put shadow underneath that bone, right in there, and you can just feel it. And I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. And then, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna do the other eye with the cream shadow. I know, it seems a little nutty. I got two different things going on here. So what? I've left the house with crazier makeup on, showing one thing or another, and then I gotta run out and do something. Happens all the time. So I'm just going to put this Victorious matte shadow over my whole lid. Goes on super smooth and easy. And then I'm gonna take the brown and just basically do what I did on the other side. I'm just gonna put this little bit on my finger and just kind of tap that into the crease. And it goes on so smooth and easy, and it looks like you've done all this great blending work kind of for you. So the color's a little bit, this over here has a little bit of a little lighter, rustier brown. This one here is a little bit of a darker brown. We do have one that's more of this lighter color brown, but I just grabbed what I could find right away. But you can see that it blends in there real easy. And again, I'm not looking with a mirror here. I'm just looking in my phone. Okay, and I could get this up a little bit higher, just like on the other side. I have sort of thicker lids myself, so I really try to go up above my crease to kind of pull that back, but it really depends on the shape of your eyes, what you want to do. But I just sort of pull that back. So that's kind of two ways of doing sort of a basic, not sparkly, not shiny eye. Okay, and then also a great thing is with the palette, and even with the cream shadow, I will take this liner shader brush on this end, and I will take a little bit of the dark brown, and I will just put this under my eye as an eyeliner as well. Just a little bit on top, just a little dab, and you can use these colors dry or even dampened with a little bit of water or the rose water, and that will make them even more intense in color too. And I can do the same thing with the splurge shadow as well. I can do, I don't have my mirror like I did. And you can do this with that to eyeline as well. I love our pencils and I use them a lot, but I also love just sort of the soft look that you get using the eyeshadows as eyeliner. They just have like a softness to them. Now I'm going to, I'm going to do a little bit of blush. And then I think I'm just going to put a little bit of blush, just kind of like a bright pink. And you use the tiniest little bit just on the top of my cheekbones right there. And blend that out like that. And then one of my favorite lip things, I think you might really like this, is like a tinted balm. And this is so moisturizing, especially, but it's better than using like just chapstick, because it's actually restorative, and it gives you just a little bit of color. This comes in 5 different shades, and it just really is moisturizing to your lips. And then I'm going to do, of course, a little bit of the mascara. So this is the 3D mascara, and this mirror, I gotta see what I'm doing for the mascara. Poke my eye out. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little coat of the gel. This is just like any mascara you've ever used. It's just a gel. You're just gonna lightly coat your lashes just to get a little bit on there. You don't need a ton, not a lot at all. And then the fibers, you use gel and then fibers and then gel again. This is the fibers. Excuse me, a little fluff there. And now on that wet gel, while it's still wet, I'm going to just brush over my lashes where I've just put the gel. I don't need to get the fibers right up next to my eyes. I'm really just gonna focus on mid-lash to the ends and just put that up there like that. And you can see what a difference already. Okay, so now that's just gel and fibers. And now I'm gonna go over to this eye and do the same thing. You see a difference between this eye and this one, right? And I'm just going to lightly coat. So what I do is I do gel and fibers, and then I let that sit for a second, and I go back to the other eye. So now I'm gonna do fibers over here. And you can see I'm just focusing on the mid lash to the ends. There, okay, amazing, right? And then over here, I'm gonna come back and just do a second coat of gel. That's real important. You wanna get the lashes sealed in. On the bottom lashes, I don't put fibers. I don't need them. I don't think a lot of people do, but I just like to define them. So I put a little bit of gel just so you can see them. Get all the way over here to the ones you can't see. And just lightly just brush over those little hairs with the gel, and they'll pop out. And on the ends here, I will just kind of brush that against it, and I'll feel the little lashes there. And if you just get a little gel on them, they kind of will show up, and then you can see lashes that you didn't think you had. And now I'm just going over the fibers, sealing them in, and that's it. That's one coat of gel, fibers, gel. Now I'm gonna go back over to this eye, and you can see what a difference between the bottom lashes and the top. Just a little bit of gel on the bottom, and a second sealing coat on the top. Okay, and that's that. Okay, so any fluffs or anything. Anyway, so that's just a basic base. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come back tonight, and I'm gonna show you how I take all this off and what my nighttime skincare routine is. It doesn't take any longer than this. It's just a couple different things, because I do put on a couple different things before going to bed. Okay, that's kind of restorative and great. All right, so I'll send this to you, and you can, and please look on, I'm gonna send you the website. I want you to look on there. If there's something that is interesting to you that you'd like to know more about, or a color or a product, let me know, and we'll totally get you set up, okay? Bye, Denise, I'll talk to you later. I can't believe I forgot to tell you about brows. Okay, we have some amazing ways to define your brows, and it's so important. They give such shape and structure to your whole face. When you define your brows, it just sets everything else off. They don't need to be super exaggerated or anything unnatural looking, but you want to be able to see them because they just draw the attention to the eye, open it up. It just sets off your eyes. So, and gives proportion to your whole face. So my favorite brow tool is the brow pencil. It comes with this little spoolie end on the end, just to kind of brush it and get everything where it needs to be. On the other end comes a light, medium, dark. It's kind of a thin sort of a lead that's retractable. You can put it out there, and you just it's very thin, so that when you make little strokes, you want it to kind of like mimic hairs, okay? Brow hairs. You're not kind of coloring in like crayon. It's just like little strokes to sort of look like little hairs. Then we also have the brow palette, which is brow powders, a setting wax. These are highlighters here. There's a brow brush, which is great because it's very stiff, precise bristles that really get in there and just fill in and give shape to your brows. So depending on what your brows are like, if you have areas that you want to make thicker or fill in places that are sparse, you definitely want to do that and give some shape to your brows. And even just pencils, or even like the eyeshadow palette that I was telling you about earlier, the browns, even in that's a great way for filling in brows as well. I'll use the same liner shader brush that I used and did the eyeliner with, and I'll just take some of the brown and fill that in with my brows as well. But I'm going to show you the brow pencil because I really like, because it's just easy, I mean, they all are, and I will use whatever I'm in the mood for or whatever's handiest, and whatever I think is just gonna look the best at that time. But this is probably my most go-to. And I will just sort of go in the same direction that the hair is growing, and just literally just draw little fine lines, like little hairs. Kind of go underneath here and sort of outline the brow. I just had my brows threaded. It was just, you know, similar to waxing, but they're taking out kind of one at a time, and which is quick and easy. And I will just sort of go along the outside of my brows just to sort of define the shape. If I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer, I might just pull it down a little, but I'm just filling in any areas where I feel like I need a little more color, because I feel like the beginning here it gets a little thin, a little bit sparser, and I want it to look a little darker and a little more filled in. I'm not doing anything dramatic. I'm not totally redesigning my brow. Some gals need to do more of that. It just depends on what you're starting with. I like to go and get my brows shaped, and then I just will kind of tweeze them and keep them there. But really, when I'm doing my brows every day, I'm just kind of defining them, just so that you see them a little bit more, and they just give a little more shape to your face. You see just this little bit of brow fill-in that I did looks a lot different than over here. And I'm pretty lucky that I have brows to begin with, but I really think that just giving them a little bit of shape and color and a little definition, it just opens up your eye. It just makes you notice. To me, it's like crown molding in a room. You put that up, it just draws your eye up. The whole space seems bigger. That's kind of what it does to your eye. It just opens this up. When you put a good concealer and a good brow, your eyes open up. It's not just all focused right here. Does that make sense? So, brow pencil, light, medium, dark, or the brow palette, or even filling in with the eyeshadow, or even we have, you know, the other pencils, the browns. There's so many ways to do it. It's just important to do your brows. So I didn't want to forget that for you. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side, and I'll come back later tonight when I show you how I do take all this makeup off, and then how I do my nighttime skincare routine. And I'm going to send this to you. All right, bye, Denise.